Hey, everybody. We are here live at Quebedeaux's Cajun Cafe. This is the Reservation Roundup with Coach Kevin Cook sitting to my right here. I am Billy French, your voice of Tioga football, and it's always fun coming off of a big win. You got a lot to talk about. We got a good show in store for you tonight. We had a lot go on this past Friday night at the Reservation. Playing against Pineville, one of our rivals. So we're going to kind of just dive in. We're running a few minutes late, but, you know, our man behind the camera that y'all can't see that does everything, Mr. Chuck Perkins, we thank him for everything he does. He gets everything rolling when we're having
Buying
problems.
car insurance for the first time can be overwhelming. Do you have enough coverage? Are you paying too much?
Background here, sir. Thank you so much. And he keeps everything rolling and firing for us at all cylinders. So, Coach, last week coming in, we knew what to expect. You know, you had a familiar opponent on the other side, and it seems like both offensively and defensively, even though it was a little kind of, I say the word sluggish, but, in the first half, it was a little, we had a little bit more penalties, should I say, than we used to in the first two games. Yeah. But kind of got rolling. But tell us what your thoughts were on the way your offense and defense played, against Pineville.
Well, it would be pretty much, I think, what you'd expect. You're you're in a big game. It's an emotional night. There's a lot of added emotion with a rivalry game, and you have a larger crowd than what you normally get, although we want it to be the norm. And so you're trying to feel your way out. The kids are excited, but they're also nervous. And, I tell people all the time, you ride a roller coaster because it scares you.
That's right.
Well, you ride a dirt bike because it scares you, and you play football because there's something about it that scares you, and there's the fear of not performing, and so we try to let the kids get settled into the ball game, and once the settling and the storm kind of settles down a little bit, we call it weathering the storm.
Right.
Once we weather the storm of the emotions and all of that stuff, we're just going to play ball.
I'm Jason Paul, Farm Bureau.
We were blessed to be able to survive the first half.
Hi,
and of course, get a little bonus. A touchdown didn't come from defense, didn't come from offense, so that helps give a little cushion and get into halftime, make some, adjustments and whatever, and kind of go play the second half.
Yeah. Came out of that half, and I'll go into a little bit deeper on what happened, but came into that second half, came out firing on all cylinders there, and it was very, very similar. The first 10 minutes of the first quarter and the first 10 minutes of the third quarter were very, very similar. And coming in, of course, we get the ball, and again, check me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost positive we have received the ball all three games on the opening kickoff.
Yeah.
So after receiving the ball, we marched down the field, of course, and running the ball has been a very, very beneficial thing for us this year. Travis Adams comes in there, and, he has a 34-yard rushing touchdown right down the bat. Of course, they get the ball back, and what happens? That's something that's happened all season long. Our defense making some plays. Ja'Cory Norris with the interception return for a touchdown, and just kind of set the tone early, and again, then it kind of slowed down a little bit, and that was you, I guess, weathering the storm, figuring how they're out, because they didn't even have much time to play offense because our defense is so good at taking the ball away.
Yeah, the turnover deficit has really, or the turnover margin has been in our favor, and it makes an enormous impact on the game. And I read one time many years ago that on all levels of football, if you're +3 in the turnover margin, you win 80% of your games.
Right.
Whether you're in the NFL, college, or high school football, that's true for all three. And so I thought, well, if you could just coach your kids and pray for some turnovers, you could be 8-2 every year.
Right.
On average. And so, we've been blessed to win that battle so far, and hopefully we're going to try to win it again this week.
Yeah, and then Pineville comes down there. They march down the field with a pretty good drive. I mean, I was very impressed with their little running back, Tylen. I say they're Tylen Sanders. This was his first time really carrying the ball this year. He was a DB that swapped over. Had some really good bursts. I mean, he had some speed coming out of that. And they marched down there, and a big hit at the 1-yard line to force a fumble. Now, in the mix, I could not see who forced that fumble, but I'm sure you were able to get
Well, and that's just like, any other thing that deals with technology. Sometimes there's a glitch here and there, and it's hard to really see. But at the end of the night, I was just proud of our kids because, you're playing defense, and they're still working their way down, and then you just kind of bear your knuckles into the ground and dig your foot in the ground, and all of a sudden, here we are and able to keep them out of the end zone.
Yeah, and Ja'Cory Norris, of course, double dip last week. He, and we try not to pick the same player multiple times. The week before, of course, Travis Adams had our play of the game, our Southern Air Cool play of the game. This week, it was Ja'Cory's. That first interception he had just kind of really set the tone, changed the mentality. Of course, he has another pick six later on in the ball game, and then yet another interception later. He had 3 interceptions in the ball game, which is phenomenal. Not to mention the forced fumbles that we had, and Travis Adams quietly, which is not really that quiet, had another beautiful game of running the ball. Just had touchdown after touchdown, and then you had Kenny Ponche come in there and he scores a touchdown. You had Shane Medish come in there and he ran the ball well. You've got so much depth at the running back position. And we really haven't needed to throw the ball as much, which I think we could if we needed to. But Case has done a great job of managing this offense. That read option is beautiful when he has it working, and it's got to be satisfying as a coach, and I'm sure it is, on how you're not a one-dimensional team, but it's nice to win. All you have to use is one dimension to win the ball game.
Well, it's the running game has been our greatest asset thus far on offense, but we know that we have to elaborate on the passing game. It has to happen. We've got to keep coaching it and keep trying to progress it, because you're not going to win the big games being one-dimensional.
Right.
You're not going to win playoff games being one-dimensional, or if not, you're not going to win many. And so you've got to have another feather in your hat, and we're trying to get that feather.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been phenomenal all season long with the running game, like we've talked about. A couple other little players of note. We seem like we talk about Ja'Cory a lot. We talk about Travis Adams, and we do, and rightfully so. They've earned that. But Champion, man, was he hitting some people. And Andrus, Caleb Andrus, I've called his name the last couple of weeks. These guys really know how to put it on a running back, and that wears down that running game. They might start off hot coming through, but when the way Champion hits somebody, and I've said his name since the first week, when he hits it, I can almost hear it up in the press box when he lays the shoulder. And Caleb Andrus now these last 2 games has done pretty much the exact same thing.
Yeah, I remember watching Champion in the 8th grade, and he got a penalty for it, but there was nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Like, he literally just hit the kid too hard, and the official threw a flag, and I thought, that's a shame. And I found him later, and I told him, I said, son, don't you stop doing that. You make them keep throwing them flags, because when you get here, that's what we want.
Yeah.
And he has brought that to the table. I thought that this was probably his best week. He's still a young guy. He's just a sophomore.
Right.
And trying to get him acclimated to high school football, and I think he's acclimating well, and I look forward to to seeing him grow more this year.
And going into the only injury that I remember, and of course sometimes minor things happen on the sidelines y'all know about, and maybe you don't, but we seen Jackson Tarver got hurt, looked to be towards at the end of the game. Number 8.
Yep.
Any update on him or how he's doing?
Yeah, he had surgery Monday. He did break his leg.
And
just kind of a freak accident, but it just made everybody on our sideline sick. He's a freshman, but he's made a big impact on our team, both athletically and just as a person. And I went and visited him. And the surgery had gone well, and he actually came to practice one day. We drove around the golf cart a little bit. But huge loss to our program for this season. He was actually playing a little quarterback for us in freshman and JV football, and then coming in and playing some safety and on some special teams in varsity. So great future in front of him. Unfortunately, it's not going to be this season, but we look forward to the next 3 years to see what that guy can do, because you're going to see a lot of him.
Look, that Bolton game when we started subbing out after kind of getting up pretty big, he came in there and he threw, and of course I had never seen him play quarterback. I know he's got an arm, I know the name, I know his dad, and he threw one over the middle in that first game against Bolton. I mean, just an absolute rope over the middle. And I was like, man. And I looked it up, of course, seeing that he was a freshman.
Yeah.
Ton of talent coming up. Of course, Case being a sophomore himself. So you got a lot of young talent that's really producing well. And that's got to be a good feeling, again, as a coach, having such a strong sophomore class that's getting a lot of playing time, and that's kind of helping out in that junior and senior class.
It is, and it is a good feeling. It hurts you a little bit on Monday nights, because if you use them on Friday, you don't want to necessarily use them on Monday unless you have to, or whatever the case, or limit that. But it's a developmental program, and we're trying to develop everybody. Because I always tell people this: you have no idea. With a young male, what his body's going to do between his freshman and the end of his sophomore year. These guys have a wide range of ages they could actually be, and then you don't know when that's all going to kick in for their body. And so, you got a guy who could be a little bitty pipsqueak as a freshman. You don't run him off.
Right.
At the end of his sophomore year, I mean, he could be 6'2".
Yeah.
And be thick. And so, we're really proud of all of our kids, whatever grade level they may be in. And look, they all get it the same.
Yeah.
And I tell our kids too, look, the more talented you are, the more you're getting fussed at.
That's the way it should be. Absolutely.
It's a biblical principle. The more talent you have, the more is expected. And that's the principle that we hold to in our program. The more talented you are, the more we expect out of you.
Absolutely.
You're not getting special privileges. You're getting extra responsibility.
That's right. But going back to the size thing, I can personally say Jalen, my son, who you'll meet here tonight, he is the defensive line coach for Coach Cook, he wasn't short, but he was chunky that freshman and sophomore year.
He was.
He was just, he played offensive line, and he was just a big body, just chunk. That into that sophomore year, right before that junior year kicked off in summer workout, he sprouted up probably 5 inches, and all that weight that was 230, he slimmed up and got strong, and it was. I remember it like it was clear as day how quick it happened just over that summer, and it seemed like everything clicked, everything changed, and then of course you bring him over to the defensive side, and the world changed on that end for us as family watching it. So. Definitely can understand that these young men, this is a growing spurt, especially not all of them have that until some of them get it in that sophomore year, some of them get it the junior year, and very few get it that freshman year. So
you just got to be patient.
That's it. So that is the Pineville game. Of course, Tioga 3-0 coming in this game, 35-0. Again, we had Jacoria Norris was our Southern Air Cool play of the game, as well as our Quebedeaux player of the game. Now, we announced that every Friday night we're going to announce our Southern Air Cool play of the game every Friday night after the game. Perkins and I, man, Chuck, we struggle trying to find out who to give it to. We don't want to keep giving it to the same person, but when they make 3 interceptions, it's really tough to.
It's hard not to.
Yeah. I mean, he lit it up. He was like, Sinlaw Player of the Week, I believe, this week too, or something like that.
He was KALB Player of the Week, and he was came up as honorable mention for the statewide Player of the Week.
See, that's unbelievable. So, and then of course every Sunday night here we have Coach Speak, where all the voices of all 5 of the teams, myself, Doug Gann from Ash, Rich Dupree from Pineville, Tom Boucher from Menard, and just a whole. And of course we have Buckeye as well. And we come in, we talk about the matchups of the week here live at Quebedeaux, and that's when we give our Quebedeaux player of the week, which is going to go into a drawing at the very end of the season, and each team's going to have their player of the year. And in order to qualify for player of the year, you got to at least have one player of the week. And and then we'll have like a little banquet for those players, and we'll vote on the player of the year for all the 446 sports. So it's just something that we appreciate, because we absolutely love high school football around here in Central Louisiana. Go on that 446 Sports page. You can get on Facebook or you can get on YouTube. It is absolutely free to subscribe. Just click that button, and that way when the game does come open, especially like in a couple of weeks, we got Pine Prairie at Pine Prairie on a Thursday night. Mm-hmm. If you don't know it's on a Thursday night, it'll pop up and let you know. That way you can at least watch the game or get down there before before it's over and watch it. It just gives you the updates. And like I said, it's absolutely free, everything we do here. And we like to give back. And we're hosting a big golf tournament for all 5 of the high school football teams.
That's
It's going to
awesome.
be at the end of next month. So make sure if you're a golfer, if you're a small business, hey, come put a team in this, because all benefits, all the proceeds that we get from this tournament, we're giving to you guys. We're giving to all 5 of the teams.
That's awesome.
And we're going to separate that. And so we want as many teams. It is on a Friday morning. So we did that on a Friday morning. I think everybody has a home game that day. That's why we did that specific day. So we're going to play golf and have a good time. And then we're going to head out and get ready to watch all of our teams. We have some big W's going into it. So we're going to go ahead and take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to try to take a break if the technological issues will work. But we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to talk to the D-line, and Coach Jalen
Yes,
Ivey, and a
absolutely.
bunch of the D-line, and then we'll bring it back for the last segment. So we're going to take a break. This is 446 Sports Reservation Roundup with Coach Kevin Cook.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee relocation, estate planning, and community property settlements. My experience in real estate over the past 13 years and currently serving as president of the Greater Central Louisiana Realtors Association has given me a clear understanding of the real estate world and the ever-changing market we live in today. For any of your valuation needs, give me, Kimberly Harrell, a call.
Is your vision just not as crisp and clear as it used to be? Are you having difficulty driving, especially at night? Are you over 40 and now needing reading glasses? If so, the trusted eye care team at Wallace Eye Associates is here to help with your family's eye care needs, just like we have been for nearly 40 years. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
I'm Jason Hawk with Farm Bureau Insurance. Did you know that September is Life Insurance Awareness Month? Our team is here to educate about life insurance and help you make the right coverage choices with the right agent this month and every month. Taking care of your family can be simple and something you can do today. There's no better time than now to learn how life insurance can protect your family's financial security. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect what matters most.
Turn that off. All right, welcome back, everybody, here to the Reservation Roundup. I am your voice of Tioga football, Billy French, sitting alongside first-year, brand spanking new defensive line coach of your Tioga Indians. And not only is he the greatest defensive line coach in the business, he is my son, Jalen Ivey, right here beside me. And this is a little special treat for me. But good to have you back in Tioga, my friend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's, he's been the last 6 years at Southern University, captain of Southern University's defense, a former first-team All-SWAC, and had a winning record at the Bayou Classic,
Yes,
which is
sir.
always super important when you're
Yes,
at
sir.
Southern. And I was blessed when he got me the phone call, told me he was coming home to Tioga and coaching the defensive line. And tell me, Ben, you got some talent to work with. Tell me about
Most
how
definitely.
much fun it's been coming home to Tioga, buddy.
Nah, it was very fun. You know, I'm glad to be home, glad to be around family and friends. But I just got a good group of guys that work hard every day. You know, don't really have any emotional ups or downs. Just hard-working men who go to work every day.
And it's shown 2 out of the 3 games are shutouts. It all starts on that defensive front. We all know. And the 3 games that we have played have been running teams. And your defensive line has really, really stepped up.
Most definitely. Coming into the season, you know, there were some thoughts that might be one of our weaker things on the team, but they definitely stepped up to that challenge, and they worked hard, had a lot of extra days this offseason. We got some work in, and, you know, they're reaping the benefit of it now.
Yeah, we're calling different names every night. Of course, a lot of the same names, and you got your captains out there, and it's just been fun because you shut out Bolton with the opening week here, and that's hard to do when you're up big like we were. And, you know, we ran through there, so then you're sticking out second and third stringers and still shutting them out, even though they're still throwing in their starters. We played a phenomenal Breaux Bridge team. That team, I remember last year, they went, I think, to the 3rd round of the playoffs. They'll be deep again this year. And then, of course, you know, last week against our rival, Pineville.
Yes, sir.
It's always fun to have a shutout against Pineville.
Yes, it's great.
Yeah, just absolutely. So, Jalen, if you would, fellas, grab your mics here and turn them on. Jalen, if you would, introduce your defensive line, the players, not all line, but your defensive players that you brought with you tonight.
Most definitely. I got Gunnar Delaney here to my right. I got my man TJ over here to my far right. I got Brody, and then I got my man AJ.
AJ, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm telling you, I don't know who wants to talk. Well, you know what? I know Gunnar will talk. Gunnar, one of the captains on this defense, and man, it seems like you really enjoy hitting people pretty hard.
Yeah, yes, sir, I do. It gives me a rush, and, you know, it's what I love to do.
That's
why
it.
I play football.
Well,
you know?
we've called your name the last couple of years. It seems like you always making big plays. When they're smart, they run away from you. But it's still, I love the freedom that he has. I see you moving around from left side to right side,
yes, sir.
Adjusting to that. And it just seems to you know, it starts with you, with that penetration that you get with the help from your defensive line.
Yes, sir.
Is he like a hybrid linebacker? Is that what he is, technically is what Gunnar's playing?
Most definitely. So when I was in high school, I played his position. You know, so when you're able to move off the ball, on the ball, and you're able to affect the game in different ways. So he's a great person, first of all, and a great football player. So we love to have him.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, you technically were called the defensive line, but, you know, and it's the same with Gunnar. Gunnar will be on the left side on the line, but then he'll drop back into like a little linebacker spot. And it really causes havoc for that offensive line, and it's shown thus far. Gunnar, we see tackle after tackle with week, and, of course, you being one of the senior leaders, how nice is it to have some talent that's a little bit younger than you that you can kind of help and mold, and it helps you out though you're not having to do everything by yourself?
It's honestly amazing. It gives me hope for Tioga's future. You know, I think that when we leave, we're going to leave some young men that can hold what we brought up to the table. And, you know, I'm glad we got some kids like that.
Absolutely. You know? And we're going to let AJ talk here. AJ, go ahead and turn that mic on. AJ, we've called your name, buddy, the last couple of weeks quite a bit. How much fun is it to get into the trenches and really hit some people?
I mean, it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun.
It's fun. You just enjoy hitting people. That's good. You know, you don't have to look. Not everybody wants to be interviewed. But it's fun to just hit people. That's what you play football. What class are you?
Class of 26.
So you still got 3 more. So you're a sophomore right now.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's nice to have. So if I'm calling your name right now as a sophomore, it's going to be really, really fun the next couple of years as well, as you get older and you get developed. Tell me a little bit how nice it's been to have a guy like Jalen who comes in as he's a young guy. He's played D1, played all the big games, played the LSUs, played all these guys to kind of give you a little momentum and kind of give you an example on what can happen for you.
I mean, it's really nice to have somebody like Jalen coaching me. He's an inspiration to me, and he coaches really good. So I learned a lot from him.
That's good. That's why Coach Cook brought him in for that. He's a hype man. He's very, very good. He's been like that his entire life, so it's nice. TJ, you want to talk? TJ, what class are you, buddy?
I'm class of 2027.
Freshman.
So you're a freshman.
Yes, sir.
Boy. Jalen, you got some talent coming up, buddy.
I do.
Tell me what's been the most fun so far for you this year playing defensive line?
Definitely getting the opportunity to be able to get out there and learn new things and then meet new people and definitely getting tackles.
Yeah, it's
definitely fun getting back there.
Tell me, did you enjoy shutting out Pineville last week? Was that something kind of special to you?
It was definitely special.
Yeah, it was fun.
As a rival game, it was definitely special.
That's good. It's only going to get better, of course, as we go against, your Nevils, and you're going to start seeing some stuff like that. And Jalen remembers the Nevils when we played them. And Brody, you're up, my friend. Now, Brody's a returning starter as well. Now, you're a junior this year, right?
Yes, sir.
You got to play, of course, you played a little offense in your younger days. Now you're pretty much strictly on the nose. Is it the nose? He's playing the nose, right?
Yes.
And I didn't know what – I see him lined up on the nose, but I don't know if that's what he's called, that
Yes,
position.
sir.
Tell me about what it's been for you this year, because, you and I talk off-season a little bit. Bro, this is my golf buddy right here. Just give you guys – heck of a little golfer. Not as good as his sister.
Yeah.
Look, his sister's phenomenal, but he's getting better. But we talked a little bit all season about, workouts and how excited, you were that Jalen was coming on board. Tell me what it means for you to have a young guy, kind of helping you.
Yeah, I'm glad he came on. He taught us a lot of new moves and how to get around people. So it helps us on the line when it's like we have a lot of people guarding us. So we can get around and get in the backfield and make a lot more tackles than we did last year.
Well, I'm telling you, you guys are going to need to step up, which I know that you will. This Marksville team is a run-oriented offense. That's all they do is run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. And it's you guys coming through, y'all, especially you guys in the interior. Y'all are going to be able to it's going to be make or break for y'all, absolutely. And then, of course, Gunner coming in and laying the wood. It's Mike Tyson's got a famous saying, everybody wants to be a fighter until they get punched in the mouth. Once they get punched in the mouth, you're going to see a lot. They're not going to be as assertive and as aggressive. And you can turn that off for me, bud. And so, Jalen, coming into this, and again, this Marksville team, which Coach Cook and I will go over here in a little bit when we talk about Marksville, that Marksville team, they're like a two-headed monster. Their quarterback gets hurt during the scrimmage. Their running back takes over his quarterback. They got another running back behind him. He leads, the state in carries. Last week alone, he had 257 yards rushing. So you guys know what you're prepared for. It's not a turf field. This is going to be, you're going to get to see some grass this week.
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit of some preparation that we've had for this Marksville Tiger team.
So this week we're just really getting back to our basic fundamentals. Just keep hammering fundamentals. Fundamentals will take you everywhere, whether you're playing a 5-wide spread offense or you get down to a double wing or, run-heavy offense like they have. They got two very good kids. One of them, like you said, was running the ball, quarterback, and they also have a good running back alongside him as well. But they play hard and they're coached very well from what I see on film.
Absolutely.
So we got our good test.
Yeah, they came in. They were 1-9 last year. They come in. They bring in a new coach. They change the entire atmosphere. Is what you want to do when a coach comes in.
Yes,
they come out 3-0. And they beat a Grant team that they were trailing big time at the half. So, and this will be a measuring stick for us.
Yes, sir.
Kind of see, because we have Grant the last game of the regular season this year, and you never, you kind of get the measure on how Grant's going to be and all that. But that's, we don't want to look down the road, but. This is where this game is going to be won and lost is against these guys that's up here
trenches.
right now. Absolutely
Yes,
in the trenches. And you've got some talent, man. And it's so nice to see it out there. And I don't want to jinx anything by any means, but penalty-wise, you guys have been phenomenal on that defensive side. There hasn't been any illegal hands to the face. There hasn't been, and that goes to you technique-wise and being able to get to the quarterback. That Bro Bridge game, that Hypolite is a phenomenal quarterback. You guys got in his head right off the bat. And him having to force the ball quickly to get it down where our secondary, where Max and Ja'Cory and Josh get all reap these benefits. I know because when I watch a football game, I watch the D-line first just because of you. But if not for these guys getting pressure on the quarterback, making him throw, this secondary wouldn't be leading what they lead in all these interceptions.
That's exactly it. You want to hit the quarterback early, get him on the ground, let him know you're there early. So when you get later in the games, he always has that thought, am I about to get hit? And that internal clock kind of speeds up a little bit, where we do have great athletes in our secondary like Ja'Cory and Norris, Josh Lloyd, and Max Abrams. We do have very good guys. So if we can get the ball in the air or the quarterback on the ground, I think we're in good hands either way.
You're only as good. I mean, you can have we have possibly two of the best safeties in the state. There's no question. but they're only as good as these guys right here because giving them time. You give any quarterback that's decent a lot of time in the pocket, he's going to find a receiver
open. Somebody open.
Absolutely. So the pressure that you got, and you're rotating them in so quick. Like you got TJ's coming in this year. A freshman playing, that's unheard of. That don't happen a whole lot, so that tells you what kind of technique. And of course, Gunner doing what Gunner does. I call his name because he's not the biggest fella. He's strong. Y'all don't know how strong he's strong.
Very strong.
But he's not your prototypical 6'4", 230 defensive end or linebacker that hits people. But when he hits one, he makes them feel like it is.
What he lacks in height, he makes up in heart and technique and just will and want to.
He beats every lineman. Every lineman on the interior. It's amazing. And Brody, you're the run stopper, buddy. You get the dirty job of getting in the trenches, getting dirty, and of course, I'm sure Coach Ivy has shown you quite a few techniques to get around that center and get to the quarterback. So I'm looking forward to a big matchup here. I can't wait to see what we can do against this run game, which is right now statistically the best running game that we'll face up to this part of the season. It'll get tougher as we get to the Nevils.
Yes, sir.
We know that, and then of course next week's Gina, which is going to be a great matchup as well. But we're worrying about Marksville and Marksville Tigers this week. So this is Coach Jalen Ivy, your defensive line coach at Tioga, and of course we've got AJ Adams, we got Brody Goodo, we got Gunner Delaney. I'm sorry, Gunner Delaney, and of course TJ Johnson here. So we're going to take another break. When we come back, we're going to talk with Coach Kevin Cook again here on the Reservation Roundup, live from Quebedeaux Cajun Cafe here in Pineville.
Time for our red, white, and cool summer event at Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Right now, you can save on a new energy saving system. No money down, 0% interest, and no payments till June 2024. Call Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing or visit us online.
BK Distributors is proud to support high school athletics on 446 Sports. BK is the one-stop shop for trophies, banners, awards, letter jackets, and just about anything award-related. And now, welcome BK Apparel and BK Promotions to the family. For all your spirit apparel needs and anything you need to brand your business. When you think of anything you need with your name on it, think BK. Check them out on Facebook or at bkdistrib.com. BK Distributors, apparel and promotions in Pineville.
For a lifetime of the best possible vision, look to Wallace Eye Associates, where our tradition of eye care excellence in Cenla spans nearly 40 years. From your next family eye exam to cataract and glaucoma evaluations, trust your vision to the experienced eye professionals at Wallace Eye Associates. Call Wallace Eye Associates today at 318-448-4488 to schedule your next eye evaluation.
Appliance Parts Company in Alexandria has all your major appliance parts needs. We sell parts to all major appliances as well as new appliances, including window units, chest, and upright freezers. Appliance Parts originally opened its doors on Lee Street in 1972, and we're now open at a new location on Memorial Drive to serve you better. Stop by, say hey to our crew, and check out our awesome holiday gifts. Appliance Parts, 2208 Memorial Drive in Alexandria next to Target. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturday from 9 till 12.
Welcome back, everybody, here to Quebedeaux Cajun Cafe here. This is week 4 of Reservation Roundup with your head coach, Coach Kevin Cook of the Tioga Indians. And, Coach, coming into this Week 4 matchup, 3-0, which is what we wanted. You know, you come into the season and you have a mindset on what you're looking for. And if someone would have told you preseason, hey, you're going to come in here 3-0, leading Central Louisiana with takeaways and you know, the way this defense and offense has been playing, I'm sure you would have took that and ran with it.
Absolutely. I'd buy that anytime they'll sell it. So just a matter of where you can get that kind of bargain at. But real proud of our defense and the contributions they're making to the winning program here.
Absolutely. So we're going to shift gears. Of course, last week was Pineville Rivalry Week. We shift gears over to Marksville, the Tigers here. We're going to be an away game, so we're going to travel to Marksville tomorrow night. Play. They're calling it. Of course, it is the KOB TV Game of the Week.
That's good.
Which that's the second week in a row the Tigers had that honor. That's awesome. Both of these teams coming into this game undefeated, 3-0. A Marksville team that wins 1-9 last year.
Right.
Brought in a new coach, changed his whole atmosphere. He just kind of lit a fire under this Marksville, this Avoyelles Parish people. Come out and beat Avoyelles week 1. And that's been a matchup they have not won very often, you know, playing against that Avoyelles team. Come in against Sacred Heart of Ville Platte, beat them 30-12, and then beat a pretty good team last week at Grant after trailing at halftime and beating Grant, coming back and beating Grant 34-33. So tell me a little bit of what you got I know you've watched some film on this Marksville team.
Well, you know, first off, you got to tip your hat to the team and to their new head coach. You know, they lose their quarterback in the Jamboree, season-ending injury. I'm assuming season-ending, broken ankle.
Yeah.
And you know, where do you go now? Because that was a very talented young man that they lost, and you know, they've had a young guy step up and really just take the reins and. I can't say enough about the culture that their coach is creating there, and maybe even you might say reestablishing, because you know Marksville is historically such a great program.
Right.
Now, I remember many years, you know, you didn't call Marksville to try to schedule a game, and if they called you, you just ignored it. So, you know, he's trying to bring that culture back. I think he's doing a great job of it. You know, 3-0. I know that, you know, they're. We call him their quarterback. He's almost more like a running back, but he's the 15th leading rusher of all classifications in the state of Louisiana right now. So, what a great job, you know, Coach has done over there.
Yeah, Coach Josh Harper from Marksville come in. Like you said, their quarterback gets hurt. Eldrick Murray is the young man that we're talking about that comes up now, and is going to be playing the quarterback. But like you said, he's a running back. He had 41 carries last week for like 251 yards, 2 touchdowns against Grant. And 41 carries is a lot of carries from your quarterback position.
Yes.
So don't know. I haven't got to watch any film on them. You might be able to tell me this. Is it more of a read option, or is he just a quarterback and he waits and sees it and goes?
Well, they have a few different schemes that they'll attack you with on offense. They'll have more of a traditional spread look, but they go back to the old school Marksville, you know, Notre Dame box offense a lot, and that's what, you know, they really did with Grant there last week. And to be honest with you, they're good at all of it.
Yeah.
Clearly, they're 3-0, so they're really good at all of it. And it makes you prepare for all of it, and it, you know, kind of divides your time out into those categories. So
yeah, and of course, you know, not only do they have Mr. Murray there, but they have, if I'll say his name, Kyrian Pryor. We'll call it Pryor. He's the running back technically now, you know, and he had 14 carries, 71 yards, 2 touchdowns last week. So it's going to be a lot of running the ball, which I enjoy. You know, I'm a smash mouth kind of football guy. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love the spread. I love to throw the ball around when we can. But it seems to really enjoy when these young guys really get into the trenches. And that's it was fitting tonight, us having the defensive linemen in here tonight, because I was telling Coach Ivy and them, it's going to make or break the game is going to be in the trenches, because they're going to run the ball, and it's whether or not we can keep them from getting to the secondary to where the, you know, Jacorian and all them are. It's got to be the guys like Brody Goodo to stop them, the Gunnar Delaney's to stop them at the line of scrimmage. And I told Jalen and them on the deal, I said, you know, Mike Tyson has that old saying where everybody wants to be a fighter until you get punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
Then people change, and that's where it's going to set the tone early on by hitting someone pretty hard, that running back.
Well, we want to get after. We're like everybody else. We're going to do our best to get after people and try to get some face mask in.
Yeah.
And then that's the goal. And so at the end of the night, though, it's still about the fundamentals of holding on to the football, good special teams. And those are the things that win you games when you're 3-0 playing a 3-0 team. And it's just a matter of, a handful of plays that'll make the difference in that type of ball game. So we just got to pray that, those handful of plays go our way.
And your defense has been, you've 3 games this year. You've had 2 shutouts. You've scored 127 points. You've only given up 28, which was to that Bro Bridge team, and we know how good that Bro Bridge team was.
Excellent.
I'm telling you, if you get a chance to go back, you can watch all of the games for all the season. You can go back and look. That's a game to watch. It was such a great matchup, back and forth, especially with the way we jump on them and all that. And so that team there, you'll see them deep in the playoffs, I would expect as well this year. But your secondary is only as strong as the defensive line, and the way your defense has played this year. Coach Mooter has done a phenomenal job of getting these young men prepared.
He has done a great job of getting them prepared. He's just a great football mind. And, I love sitting in listening to his film sessions with the kids, because you're going to learn something every single time you sit there, no matter how long you've been coaching football. And so I try to make it a point that to go listen, because I like to learn too.
Right, absolutely. And he's so passionate. I mean, when you mess up, he's going to let you know.
Well, the
but
thing
when
about
you
it
don't,
is that you have to have the right personality to coach a defense.
Yes.
You got to have a lot of fireball in you. And he has that. He has that. So he's in there, and, he's as pumped up as they are, and that's what you have to have, though. You can't be a good defensive coach without it, whether it's a position coach like you saw with Coach Ivy tonight, or especially your leader.
Yes.
Especially your defensive coordinator. He's got to be waving the sword at the front of the ship, setting it on fire, and waving it at people and threatening people, and that's our guy. That's Coach Mooter.
He is the reason that we put more reinforcement in the coach's box up there in the press box.
He's the reason that we have to have a totally separate compartment for the coaches on Friday night.
Because if you make a mistake, we were going to hear Coach Mooter getting on to you. I love it.
It's really hilarious to see the different personalities that contribute to football and how they have to be different. You take our offensive coordinator, he is the polar opposite of Coach Mooter.
Yeah, well, so are you in that aspect as well.
He's just as calm as he could be. So it's a great thing to be a part of as a coach, and it's just awesome to – because you do get the behind-the-scenes things that not a lot of people get or the privilege of seeing, and it's just fun. So
this coach, this staff, and it all comes from you. Of course, I know you ain't going to take all the credit, but you handpick all these guys. You know how to build a staff that not only gels together, but just kind of a yin and yang type of deal. When you have, like you said, Mooter, Coach Lander. You got back and forth, and they work well together. You've got guys that play on both sides of the ball, and it works, man. It really, really works, and it's like a well-oiled machine right now that y'all have. Just everything kind of going into place at the right time, and of course, and injuries have been pretty light considering. Of course, every injury hurts, whether it's a starter or not. But we've been blessed, and it goes to the coaching and at practice time, we haven't had a lot of flags this year, and it's been because of the preparation that you guys have done on your end. And
our staff does a great job, and I feel super blessed to work with those guys. There's not a lot of stuff that I have to do or explain, but they know what to do. They're going to do it without any instigating by me, and they do it at a high level.
Yes, sir.
And I've said this before, I'll say it again. I don't think we have a man on our staff that couldn't make more money doing something else, but he's there because he wants to be. And you see it in their performance, that they want to be there, and you see it on Friday night.
And this is what year for you coming in? Is this year 9 or 8?
Your ninth year.
Ninth year coming in, and since you've taken over, it's very similar to what this coach over at Marksville, Coach Harper, has done. you've reestablished some type of, you came in, you changed the culture, the Zacchaeus right off the back, of course, and it stuck with me after all these years as well. Of course, I was there their first year, and he's doing the same thing over there. And you've had a 9-year run, or 8 years in a row on the playoffs, which before you got here, it had been a minute before Tioga had got in there. But you're only as good as the staff that you hire.
That's exactly right. That's what that's the whole thing that our administration at Tioga High School has done a great job. And, now with Mr. Arrington, he's doing a great job. He asked me the other day, he said, Coach, what do y'all need? Do you need to hire more coaches? I said, well, honestly, with the largest roster we've ever had, we do need to add on to that coaching staff. And that's what it takes. It takes everybody working together. Like two gears, intermingling. And it takes your administration being willing to give these guys an opportunity, and it takes those guys, wanting that opportunity. And that's what, I feel where the grace of the Lord has been upon me personally to bring me coaches that are really just every one of them smarter than I am. And that's what I tell people. If I ever get into a situation where I can help young head coaches or new head coaches, fine. Do not ever hire somebody that's not smarter than you. Everybody you hire has to be smarter than you, because if you ever do that wrong, then you'll be sorry.
Yeah.
And so I'm grateful for that today.
We are grateful for you, of course, Coach, for coming in. We're going to take our last break of the night, and we're going to get everything together here. And we are at Quebedeaux here, the Cajun Cafe. This is the Reservation Roundup that we're going to be here every week, every Thursday night, 7 to 8. Hey, if you come in and you got Tioga gear, and if you could see the crowd around here, we have a couple of them already left here, but they have a special menu for all Tioga people with your Tioga gear. You can't find it cheaper than this. I mean, I've seen a shrimp po' boy on there for $6.
Yep.
They have shrimp fettuccine. I mean, everything. Just come in with your Tioga gear. It's from 7 to 8 every night. We had some people that got here at 6:30, and they fed them just, so if you want to get here a few minutes earlier to make sure, you're more than welcome to come in here. So every Thursday night here, Coach Kevin Cook Show, the Reservation Roundup. Unfortunately, you have to look at me as well when you have to look at Coach. But, I wore my hat today, so nobody said we were twins.
I don't think either one of us is going to be on the calendar anytime soon. If not, it's not going to sell well.
Maybe a dartboard.
Maybe a dartboard. That's right.
So we're going to take our last break here, and we're going to come back here in the final 7. This is the Reservation Roundup, live from Quebedeaux in Pineville.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee relocation, estate planning, and community property settlements. My experience in real estate over the past 13 years and currently serving as president of the Greater Central Louisiana Realtors Association has given me a clear understanding of the real estate world and the ever-changing market we live in today. For any of your valuation needs, give me, Kimberly Harrell, a call.
BK Distributors is proud to support high school athletics on 446 Sports. BK is the one-stop shop for trophies, banners, awards, letter jackets, and just about anything award-related. And now, welcome BK Apparel and BK Promotions to the family for all your spirit apparel needs and anything you need to brand your business. When you think of anything you need with your name on it, think BK. Check them out on Facebook or at bkdistrib.com. BK Distributors, Apparel and Promotions in Pineville.
I'm Jason Hawk with Farm Bureau Insurance. Did you know that September is Life Insurance Awareness Month? Our team is here to educate about life insurance and help you make the right coverage choices with the right agent this month and every month. Taking care of your family can be simple and something you can do today. There's no better time than now to learn how life insurance can protect your family's financial security. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK or online at talktohawk.com and let us help you protect what matters most.
Time for a red, white, and cool summer event at Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Right now, you can save on a new energy saving system. No money down, 0% interest, and no payments till June 2024. Call Southern Air Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing or visit us online.
And welcome back here to the final segment here with just a few minutes left here of the Reservation Roundup. I am Billy French, your voice of Tioga football, alongside your head coach, Mr. Kevin Cook here. And, Coach, if you wouldn't mind here on this last little segment here, kind of give us a rundown of how the JV and freshmen are looking and what nights they play. That way some of these fans might even get a chance to go see that.
Well, we're proud of our young guys. They're doing a good job. It's a lot different.
Yes.
And so obviously we spoke earlier about, we lost Jackson, and he was one of our quarterbacks for those groups, and that made a big impact. But Monday night, we had 2 wins. Freshman won and JV won over at Pineville High School. And so we had 2 guys step into a role that, they really hadn't had any work at. And so we're really proud of them. Matter of fact, in particular, like with Kyle, he was just almost a natural at quarterback.
Panche?
Kyle Kiwan.
Okay.
Kyle.
Oh, yeah.
And so he did an outstanding job. I'll be honest, I was very pleasantly surprised. I knew he could manage the game and do the other things, but a lot of just a natural accuracy. And he's come a long way. Now that he's a junior, he's come a long way, grown up a lot. And so we're proud of it. We failed a Union the Monday night before on the last play of the game, and we met over in Winfield and had a game over there, and it was a hard fought game. So proud of our kids and what they've been doing. They're learning, they're growing every day, and I tell them all the time, you don't have to be an All-American today. You just got to get a little bit better every day, and eventually you will get to the top. And so they're doing that, and I'm proud of them.
Well, playing Union's always got a phenomenal football team. They're known for.
Yeah, it wasn't no slouch. They were in the Superdome last year, so they're not a slouch team. So
if you've ever seen Union, they have the colors of Miami, and they have the big U on the helmet, and they look just like Miami. And last year, 2 years ago, they were in the Dome as well. I think it was 2. It might have been 3 years ago. I was at that. I was watching. It was when Ash was playing in the championship, and Union played before. And man, when they stepped on the field, you felt like that was a college team. That whole Miami look and everything. And they're a powerhouse. So kudos to you to even schedule that. But that's what you want. You want to play good teams. You want to kind of measure yourself.
Well, and going forward, and I already told our staff about this. In the next cycle for the freshman JV football, we're gonna get a little broader geography, and we're gonna try to find some schools that are really probably above our skill level. But I want to develop a certain mentality and a certain culture, and we want to get some people on there that it's going to be real tough to beat. And I know when I was in West Texas playing JV football and freshman football, our freshman team played only JV teams. They would not allow us to play another freshman team.
Oh, wow.
And we got our teeth knocked in pretty often.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden on Friday night, it's just coming supernatural, supernatural to us to be that competitive, and it paid off with one of the better teams that ever played there. So I think that I want to try to really work on establishing that culture now that we're going to be able to hopefully add a few coaches, add a few more people with CDLs. It's a little thing people don't even think about.
Got to have somebody driving that bus,
Got to have people to drive the bus. And when we can add that personnel, we'll be able to really, I think, hopefully take our program to the next level. and you're not going to see it for a few years. It's one of those things you're investing in now,
right,
but it doesn't pay off for 3 or 4 years. So.
Yeah, well, every major team that you see in the state of Louisiana, you're Edna Cars, you're all these, St. Thomas Moores, all that. I guarantee you go look at their JV teams, and they're stacked. They're good.
Yep.
They take that very seriously. You're not going to have a mediocre JV team, chances are, and have a stud, varsity team. You got to build that program up.
That's right.
And if you put, and that's something that I've been very, very impressed with you guys, with Coach Racine over at the junior high. There's a reason they win all these these junior high championships. And then they come up, they're prepared, and there's not so much work for you and your staff to have to do to prepare them. And that's why guys like a T.J. Johnson are able to play as freshmen because of the building from the junior high.
Yeah.
So that is going to do it for us tonight here, and we appreciate Coach Kevin Cook here. Tioga is 3-0 going in at Marksville this tomorrow night, 7 p.m. You can watch the game. We want you at the game. If you can't make the game, or even if you're at the game, turn us on, put your headphones in, listen to the game here on 446 Sports. You can get it on Facebook or YouTube. So tell the family and friends, those that can't make the trip over to Marksville, they can watch it live here. And we'll be back next week here, Thursday night, 7 to 8, here at Quebedeaux's Cajun Cafe, the Reservation Roundup with Coach Kevin Cook here. And we'll have some more football players to interview, and hopefully we'll be able to talk about a big win for Tioga over Marksville.
That's what we're praying for.
That's it. So I am Billy French alongside Coach Kevin Cook. And, of course, we can't do anything without our producer behind the scenes, Mr. Chuck Perkins. Say hi to him real quick, Chuck.
Love you, Chuck.
Love y'all too, baby.
Can't do anything without Chuck. We appreciate him. So we'll be back next week here on Reservation Roundup here live at Quebedeaux.